Welcome back to the Potted Together podcast. My name is Becca, and I'm joined by... I'm jonesing.
She's jonesing.
I'm joined by my co-hosts, Adam and Nicole.
Hello,
Hi.
hello. Becca, are you also feeling a little sickly? Because I have had a cough this whole weekend and carrying on till today. But
I was going to say, I blew my nose and I have green boogies again. I am upset about that.
do you think it's allergies?
I just got better.
No, it's probably a virus if it's green.
Yeah, I had seasonal allergies for like 2 months, and I'm relieved from it, and now this. I think it's different.
Those Mucinex guys are moving back in.
I just got them out.
I mean,
They just been evicted.
Evicted, yeah.
they threw that eviction notice out. They're like, listen, we need a long-term rental agreement.
Seriously? Hey, what's the terms for re-signing this lease?
Okay, but when I got back from Aruba, the day after I got back, I slept like total trash. And I attribute that to like the difference in climate, plane, all that. But I still am super stuffy. I'm not blowing out green boogies, but I'm like, is this like a severe allergy thing going on, or am I getting sick because I feel a little tickle? I've been coughing a little bit too. It's a little uncomfortable.
You know what I bet
pissed.
it is for you though? Like people get really allergic to cicada pee, and since they're just like pissing everywhere.
Listen, I thought you were coming in here with some solid information. Okay. I'm disappointed.
Never.
Here's how you get over this, though. You take a cicada, you get the wings, you grind them up.
Oh my God.
The leaves.
And then you snort
the
them.
cicada leaves.
The leaves.
The leaves.
Cicada leaves.
The cicada leaves.
That typo. Actually, the other day we lifted the cover off our grill, like the big cover, and there was just two piles of cicada leaves because birds had been getting underneath and like sitting in the grill eating them or something, but they don't eat the leaves.
They don't eat the leaves.
They don't.
I did it again. I didn't even realize I did it that time.
Wings?
They don't eat the wings.
Oh, that's so funny. I'm just imagining birds over there like, hey, Earl, did you get the grill started? They're just like frying up their little cicada.
But also, why don't they eat the wings?
I don't know.
Because I see wings
really
all
don't
over
know.
the place too. It's so strange. Maybe they're not great.
Yeah.
Maybe they taste different. I don't know.
The birds don't eat it. My dogs just eat the whole thing.
Oh.
It doesn't make them sick.
No.
People
You
are
got to
saying
be careful though.
it makes us sick.
Yeah, their digestive system can't really handle them.
I did read that. I don't know. Cooper's built different. He's, I don't know. Cooper eats at least 3 dirty diapers a week. And I don't even know how. It's not good for him. I'm not saying that this is a good thing. It's super annoying. I don't even know where he finds them. We put them in the trash can. But it's like the one that we don't get, he finds it.
Oh, he's one of those dogs.
He's definitely
Yes.
built different.
He's a panty snatcher and he is a diaper eater. He's also just like eaten Nora's burp cloths, or not eaten, like chewed on them, like sucked on them when she spit up on it or something. It's just, he's gross.
Or he's a good habit trainer. Because I have a cat like that. Zach's cat was like is always in the sink, so now it's like I'm always doing the dishes, and I never did that before because I hate doing. But I'm just getting so annoyed with him in the sink, so I'm always scrubbing things and cleaning it up right after I eat. And I was like, okay, well, he's teaching me to be an adult.
He's keeping you clean.
Yeah.
See, that's true. Like, grab the freaking diaper, Becca, after you change the diaper.
Or Cooper will. Everybody has their kinks.
Or Cooper will grab it. Put your dirty underwear in the hamper.
Yeah.
Or Cooper, you will have a hole in your underwear. He chewed up some of my period underwear though, and I was really upset because that's not cheap.
Those are the best kind of undies.
I know.
Wait, you got actual period underwear?
Yes, because guess what?
It's back.
Did I talk about this on the pod?
She's back.
She's back. Yeah. It skipped a month. I had it, and then it skipped a month, and then it came this month. So it's not regular yet, but yeah,
Love that.
The bitch is back, unfortunately.
Oh,
She's moving.
gosh.
I forgot.
She's moving in with the Mucinex guys.
Oh, I got the Mucinex guys. I got Aunt Flo. It's a family reunion up in this body.
Man.
Okay. What have you guys been doing? We haven't talked in a week. So, like, what's up? What's the hot goss?
I
What's
think-
the sitch?
What's the sitch? I think that what we really want to know is how Nora's birthday was. So I don't know why you're asking us, because our lives are not as exciting as yours. Well, I'm speaking for myself.
Adam's like, yeah, speak for yourself.
Bitch.
Wow. It was also my birthday, Nicole, but...
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Let's go for Adam's birthday first.
Okay.
Well, we recorded
On your birthday.
Patreon on my birthday.
Right.
USC. Yeah. This weekend I did a float trip down the Salt River with some friends.
Yes.
How did it go getting all of the different friend groups together?
It was fine. Had some last minute cancellations, so it wasn't like. And then I feel like there was only kind of just one person there who didn't know the rest. So
Okay.
COVID's going around, so some people couldn't come because of COVID.
Again? Ew.
Yeah. So all in all, it was a smaller group. There was like 7 of us, but it was really fun. It's always really fun and a little stressful because I am constantly aware of our positioning on the river and also trying to remember all of the things I want to avoid. So that I'm like constantly in this like state of don't sit and relax. Like I can't relax until we get into this position.
Do you know the river that well?
Well, yes and no, but there are spots that we got stuck in that like, or spots that we almost like tipped over in, because there is a couple of spots where it's like really rapids and you kind of have to lift your butt up because you're going over rocks. And if you don't lift up, you're going to slam into rocks.
Oh,
ouchie.
And then I'm like trying to keep an eye on the cooler tubes to make sure they don't flip over. And but it's only a few different spots like that, but it's also really fun too.
It looked a lot of
Yeah.
it looked a lot of fun. It looked really hot though, because Arizona is quite literally on fire right now. So how did that go?
I mean, fine. It's always more surprising, I think, to people who don't live in Arizona.
Okay, like me.
Because I was actually cold on the river. Like, yes, it is 110 degrees out, but like when you're in the water's cold and then it starts evaporating off of you and that chills everything down. So like
True.
There was some shivers on the river. But yeah, and wild horses.
No sunburn.
No sunburn.
Wild horses, sorry.
Yeah.
Wild horses.
That's fun.
Always, you always see them along the Salt River, and it's just really cool to see.
That
Yeah.
is so cool that there are wild horses.
Yeah.
Like, what a world.
What a
Majestical.
world. But yeah, no mishaps. I was a little nervous because someone had died on the river like the weekend before.
Okay.
Or the body was found. They had drowned earlier. I don't know which, but there's parts of the river where it like flows really heavily and then it kind of like ejects you into like a brush or the side, because the flow is going so hard that once your whole like, we're all tied together, 7 inner tubes, 4 cooler tubes. Once you get that movement going, it kind of just like slams you into the embankment. And I'm like, that's where the dead body would probably be. And that's why like I get so stressed because I'm like, I don't want to be over in there. And I also think
You don't want to find the dead body.
every time I'm in a tube and I go into like brush, I just think snakes are going to be like, and then just jump straight at me.
Oh,
I don't know why. I don't know why that's in my head, but every time, so I get a little freaked out.
Wait, the releases that you must have to sign are extensive, I'm assuming.
I don't think so. No.
Really? Just like at your own risk. Know how to swim.
I guess it probably did say a bunch of stuff, but I just say accept. Click here to accept. Yeah.
If you see an alligator that are not in Arizona, but hypothetically speaking, don't freak out.
Yeah.
Oh, no thanks. But that's so much fun.
It is. It's always a good time, and it's probably one of my favorite activities to do now in the summer. It's just like the scenery's gorgeous. You're like floating down a river through mountains and saguaros, and it's just fun.
Mm-hmm. What did you put in those coolers?
Okay, so I was drinking 2-turnt tea, which is like a hard iced tea. And the reason I bought it is because the can was like 80s vibes, and I go off of design.
Packaging.
The vibes,
Usually,
yeah.
And then Steve and I made a bunch of sandwiches for lunch. So ham and cheese sandwiches on Hawaiian bread, cucumber and cream cheese sandwiches. and all of the stuff. So that was in one cooler. And then we had like Uncrustables and just a bunch of snacky snacks. And then everyone brought their own foods and drinks. So
how long is it? Like
the whole trek is about like 3.5, 4 hours, but you can make it longer. Like we pull off and like eat lunch. So we just like, there's a halfway point or like a bridge where you can enter in. And a lot of people just hang out there. So we kind of pull off there and just chill on land and eat lunch and hang out for a bit, drink. Lots of music and parties going on everywhere.
That's so cool. That sounds like such a fun day.
Yeah.
Also,
it's a
you
good
need
time.
to share what SPF you use, because I would have been a lobster.
Yeah, I just use I have Neutrogena Beach Defense that I was using, and I wore a long sleeve rash guard, like a shirt.
Okay.
A UV blocking shirt.
sleeves.
I used a bucket hat. I used a Korean SPF for my face. And that, honestly, I used that when we were in Universal. Never once got any sunburn on my face.
How about that?
It's so good.
Yeah.
I swear by it. But anyway, no burns. My legs got a little burned, but then it was only for like a day and that was fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you rent the tubes. Sorry I have so many questions about this. I'm just kind of intrigued.
That's fine.
So you rent the tubes. Do you mind sharing how much it costs, like for one person?
$25 for the tube and then the bus ride to drop off.
Oh.
So it's not too bad. I mean, if you had your own tube, it would just be a $10 to do the bus ride. And they Steve and I were at Sam's Club or at Costco, and they had some like inner tubes there that were really nice. And I was like, Steve, wouldn't this be so good on the river? Like it was just really comfy looking things. But it's always difficult because I don't want to force everyone coming with us to rent a tube and then we have our own setup and then it'd be like, oh, well, you guys get out here. We'll meet you here. Like I just would rather everyone do the same thing at the same time.
Yeah.
So.
But that would be cool if like you and Steve got it for just you guys to go one day.
Yeah, we talked about that. Like neither one of us have just him and I float down the river, and it could be fun. So
yeah,
we might try that.
Sounds fun. Cool.
Love an inner tube moment.
Happy belated birthday, friend.
Thanks. Yeah, but that was it. That was Saturday's activity. Then I just was lazy all day Sunday, and that's all I've been up to.
Nice.
Very cool.
But some bunny turned 1.
Somebody. Oh.
Some bunny turned 1. Yes, Nora turned 1.
Oh.
We had a big birthday bash. It actually turned into one of those like big kids' birthday parties.
Really?
Like you see online. It's like, it wasn't like super extravagant, but the setup was cute because I wanted it to be really cute for pictures. But otherwise, it was super chill. We just grilled and like hung out. Mm-hmm. And majority of the people there were Daniel's family, but some of my mom friends came with their kids, and that was really fun. Mm. And my family was here, my mom, dad, sister, grandparents, and yeah, it was really sweet to spend the day with them. And it's always like really stressful the moments before everybody gets there, and then like once the party's going, I'm like, okay. I did have a thought while it was happening. I was like, I don't know if I should do this again. Like this was really stressful.
Yeah. But
it was fun, and she got a lot of gifts.
Did she?
Yes, I did put on the invitation, no gifts.
Oh my gosh.
She got a lot of gifts. So it's just things that we need to organize now.
Yeah.
I was expecting people to bring things. I'm thankful, of course.
Yeah.
But I was like, let's like quell the amount of gifts. Like I didn't want anyone to feel like they had to,
Yeah. That's so nice that your family came out for that. Like I'm trying to sit here and think like, would my family do that? I don't think they would.
Yeah.
It was really sweet.
Yeah. To have a memory and to, just be there to experience it. I love that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was super special. Like being away from my family is so hard in having a baby because there's so much that they miss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's special that they were able to be there for that. We've actually seen them a couple times recently.
Yeah.
Because we saw them a few months ago too. So it was just nice.
Yeah.
To see them.
Did she smash the F out of the cake?
She was like looking at the cake like, what is this? Like she was not into it. Like we kept trying to feed it to her and she was just like, what is that? I don't want it. But eventually my sister like totally smashed it for her and then she started eating it. But that was like her first time having like real sugar like that. Mm-hmm. I feel like she's still suffering from that. So let me just give some unsolicited advice. Maybe just make your own smash cake out of like not normal cake ingredients because I feel horrible.
Is she
like
sick?
diarrhea? Because that's what happens to me.
Yeah, it was like a big poopy situation. And like I could just tell that her stomach was hurting. I just felt so bad. I didn't even think about it, honestly. I was like, oh, well, she's had like fruit and like she's eaten sugar in other forms, but not like cake, like granulated white sugar, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it really did a lot. It did a lot that I did not know what happened. So poor thing. Again, I think that she's maybe still dealing with it, but recovering.
Sugar, man, it's a drug for all of us, you know?
It's crazy what it does to the body.
It is. And I saw a TikTok because I've been on my no sugar journey, you know, and they said that like you can eat sugar, but if you also need to eat a lot of fiber and that will take it out of your body.
Oh.
And so there's something with the pancreas and bile production that happens with fiber. And so like if you don't have a high fiber meal, like that's when you have these issues with sugar, but you can eat sugar just as long as you're also eating high fiber. Something like that. And I was like, oh,
interesting.
So now like whenever I do feel like on the weekends when I eat sugar, I'm like, I need to make sure I drink my fiber shake because I make like a psyllium husk drink. And then that'll help just like get it out, you know? Maybe.
Okay.
Ooh.
We'll see.
Interesting.
We'll see. Life hack. Sugar life hack.
Yeah.
Hot take.
But yeah, it was a good party. It was fun. And she did get some great like toddler toys because all of her toys currently are like little baby toys. And she was just bored. Yeah. So now all the things are like tasks, you know, it's interesting to see how the toys change. But anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, now we're just kind of winding down and cleaning up and all the things.
Do you notice Daniel playing with the toys a lot? Because when I worked at Toys R Us, it was always the men walking down the aisles pushing every single button. If it said try me, it was like boink, boink, boink.
Yeah.
Just simple man.
They got those sneaky digits. Just gotta try everything.
Everybody's got that.
Yeah, no, she has like her... She has like a lot of wood toys. There's this one that's like a hammer one where you like hit the stuff and it's cute.
Yeah.
It's cute. But yeah, now I just need to figure out like toy storage and like how to like not feel overwhelmed by all of these things. Cause of course we got some like cheesy big toys too, which are fun. She'll like them too. But I'm like, where do we put these? Cause it just takes up space, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
like tents and that kind of stuff, like those kind of things.
She got like a walker.
Mm-hmm.
And then she got like a little bike thing where she like pushes herself like on her feet, which I think both of these things are cute, but I'm like, where am I going to put it? That is the question.
Yeah.
I have so many thoughts on gifts like that that are not asked for, but it's fine. I'm sure they're cute.
A lot of people were like, oh, we're going to get you the loudest, most like light up toy. I'm like, please don't do that.
It'll end up in the trash. Thank you.
Yeah. We didn't get any of that, thankfully. But actually, most people were like, hey, like, what toys would she want? Because I'm bringing a gift. And I was like, okay, well, here's a link. Again, always thankful for people for thinking of us and, like, being kind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, now I need to figure out what to do with all of it. My house is not huge.
What about just, like, a Little Tykes or something like storage chest that you could just toss all the toys in, you know?
A toy chest.
A toy chest. Because then she can, when she starts walking around, which is, she's not doing that yet, right? I think we would have heard about that.
Not yet.
Okay. She could just like walk over to it, get her toys, and then you could like teach her to put all her toys away, and it's just one spot.
That's a beautiful idea. Mm-hmm. And it's all put away.
Yeah.
And it's all tidy Everything has its place, Nora. Okay?
Not,
Auntie Nicole says so.
not in my home. I'm just like flashback to the blanket folding in Missouri, and I'm like triggered.
Well,
I have some trauma.
Get ready.
Because we're gonna do it all over again. But yeah, that's the Nora update. She's 1. It's crazy.
That's wild.
1 year ago.
Whole year of being a mom. Well, you're a mom before that, but I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Physically.
To an Earthside baby.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like that is the biggest reason to have a big 1-year-old birthday party. It's not necessarily for Nora, you know, like she's just along for the ride. It's more about you guys. So yeah, like congratulations, because it's a huge accomplishment.
Thank you.
You kept a human alive.
Yes, you
We
did.
kept a human alive for 1 year. We
Yeah.
are still married. We are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still
The
want to be in
dogs are
photos
okay.
together. Everyone's still
The
like,
dogs are okay.
yeah. Greenhouse is done. Jesus.
I mean, fuck. Goals.
Do I have my life together? No.
Sure you do.
It might appear, but no.
So do you still have family in town, or did everybody leave now?
Yes, my grandma is sick, so they stayed, and we will see.
Are they in the
Grandma's-
house or? Yeah.
Oh, grandma's sick. Well, maybe that's where the Mucinex guys came from.
That's where the greenies.
Could be,
Greenies came from
Could be.
Granny.
but yeah. So just like when people like leave, though, you just have like a hangover from.
Oh yeah.
All of the things, and the house is messy, and I cleaned the kitchen today and I feel better about that, but everything else I'm like, ugh.
Literally
I hear
all
that.
the supplies from the float trip are still just in the front living room on the floor because I mentally just don't want to take care of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, checked out.
Yeah.
Well, I thought we had put everything away from vacation, but then Jay drags the suitcase out and I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, did you forget? And I was like, oh my God, he's leaving for New York for 3 weeks.
That's happening.
Yeah, on Tuesday he's leaving, and he's like, I have to repack. And so now our basement is trashed. Yeah, and it's actually trashed. I'll take a photo and send it to you.
Doubt it.
Adam just rolled his eyes so hard.
Doubt it.
I'm gonna take a photo and send it.
Okay. I can't wait to roast you over this photo. Like, honestly, I can't. I'm so excited about it. I'm so excited to see this and to post it for everybody. To be like, this is trash.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. And I'm not gonna trash it just to take the photo. It is trashed. My definition of trashed.
Probably looks like my bedroom on a Tuesday.
Stop.
Cleaner than my bedroom on a Tuesday.
Stop. No, all his
Look
shit
at this
is
bed
everywhere.
I'm sitting on. There's just shit everywhere.
Okay, that's how my basement looks.
Oh my
Everything
gosh.
has a place.
No, not my home. The place is wherever it's sitting.
Oh.
I know I'm learning about ADHD and like that it just becomes blind to us. The
Yeah.
piles, we'll just pile blind.
Yeah. It's like such a common thing to make piles just everywhere. I do that. Daniel does too.
Yeah.
I'm looking at his desk. He's got a pile on top of a pile.
But
Yeah.
how is that going, Adam? Do you want to share how everything's going with like the medication and stuff?
Oh, yeah. I have a follow-up today and I think I'm going to ask for a higher dosage.
Oh, okay.
I just don't think 10. I want to try it. Like, that's the thing is like, I think you always have to figure out what works for you. Mm-hmm. And you don't really know until you try. So I'm just going to see what like a higher dosage would do. Because I am taking a 10 milligram slow release Adderall. And it just feels like, while I do feel a little bit of effects of it, I would like to see
Significant.
if there's difference like in taking more milligrams or maybe not slow release. And because really I only want to use it for work. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense. Like my work day is the only, and then maybe if I have like chores to do on a weekend, I will do it so I can just like not be a lazy POS, but like, it's not like I want to take it. Like if I'm not working, I don't take it. I don't take it on the weekends.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Well, good luck with that. That's today.
Yeah, this tonight at 4.
Okay.
Another,
I have my
Very cool.
I have my
Video.
first doctor's appointment tomorrow.
just
yes.
Yay.
just
Me
a
and
general
Jay.
checkup.
Yeah, it's our general what do they call that? family practitioner, not practitioner. What do they call
GP. What is that called?
Oh my God. It slipped my mind. You're, the person who does it all.
Yeah.
Isn't
general doctor.
Isn't it general practitioner?
I don't think so. Maybe. Anyway, everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Primary care manager.
Physician.
Okay.
Yes.
There we go. Anyway. So I'm
get your referrals.
Get them. I made a list this morning. I was like, listen, honey, I need a mammogram. I need a pap smear. I need a dermatologist. I need all the things. I also want an allergist. Yes. Becca.
Your primary care doctor, physician can do your pap smear.
That's right. She can, but not tomorrow because Aunt Flo's in town.
I feel like we need a rebrand for this whole pap smear. I don't like the word smear.
Why do we call it smear?
Like they probably call it that because whenever they take whatever sample they take, they probably smear it on something and they're like, well, let's just call it a pap smear. Like,
okay, doctors, we need you to chime in. Why is it called a pap smear? We're too lazy to Google. We need a rebrand.
I do not like the word smear. It's like right up there with orifice, I think. And
I call
teetering
it a pap.
near penetrate. Like, I know it's no.
Moist.
Pap.
I call it a pap. I gotta get my pap. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Yikes.
But I want to get a Becca full body scan. I'm excited about that. Check me out. I want to know what the fuck this little spot is. I got a little bump on my arm after my last COVID vaccine, which I don't know if it's like scar tissue under there, but just check it out. Check it out because it's free. You guys, I have insurance and it's a fabulous feeling and I'm going to take full fucking advantage.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have to pay like an office copay or?
Yeah, it's like $20.
Okay. And then everything else is covered?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I'm proud of you. Look at you go.
Thank you. Next up, dentist. But yeah, one step at a time, one foot in front of the other,
That's right. That's all you can do. Chip away.
I'm so proud of us. We said at the beginning of the year, this was going to be the year of us doing this stuff.
And it's June. It's June.
You did it. You guys are both just making it happen.
Well, somewhat. Yeah, a little victories.
You're doing your ADHD stuff.
I am, yeah. But then I also still need to go to a doctor and a dentist. And I saw a clip the other day about like testing this tooth regrowth serum in like Germany. And I just really wanted to comment and be like, look, I got a hole in my tooth right now. I volunteer as tribute.
Volunteer as tribute. Oh no.
Anyway.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yes.
My mom was telling me about that actually. That's crazy.
I saw that.
I was thinking about it. Our bones mend each other. Like if our bones break, they start mending. Teeth are bone. Why don't they mend?
Well, I guess they do now.
I guess they do.
Oh, we didn't even talk about what today's episode was going to be about, but hey.
The title gave it away, I'm sure.
The title gave it away. Yeah.
Let's get into it. I would like to introduce you to Charlotte Taylor, Dr. Charlotte Taylor, who is a plant taxologist that has described more new plant species than any woman alive.
Oh, snap.
Queen.
Okay, Charlotte.
Yes.
Queen Charlotte.
And I do... Sorry, what?
How do you spell her name? Is it just how you normally would?
It's the French way. Charlotte.
Okay, Charlotte Taylor, taxonomist.
I have to look her up.
I just have to see her face. Sorry. Mm-hmm. This is how I function.
She's a very sweet looking woman.
She is... Sorry, not gonna steal your thunder. I just saw an article. Continue.
You just saw an article?
She's from Missouri.
Yeah. Okay, so she currently works at the Missouri Botanical Gardens. Or garden.
Climatron.
I know. It's so cool because, okay, so I wanted to do a woman and I wasn't really specific in my search, but then I saw her. I saw that she has described, more plant species than any woman alive. I think out of all the female botanists, she is like number 3 as far as like who has named the most plants.
Wow.
So she's definitely like up there with it all. And she's still alive. And she's currently working at the Missouri Botanical Gardens. So does her husband, which is just very cool. They're like both working there. It's just sweet. Wow.
That's sweet.
She was featured by the Royal Botanical Gardens, like the Kew Gardens in England. Mm-hmm. Wait, what is this? Kew at the University of Cambridge, just to be specific. They did a 2023 study called Acknowledging Female Role Models in Botanical and Mycological Taxonomy. And it found that Charlotte Taylor's 500 new plant species made her the third most prolific botanist of all time, female botanist of all time.
Wow.
So she is like decorated. She's a decorated botanist, taxonomist. Mm-hmm. She's done it all. She got her undergrad at the University of Michigan, where she's from, and she didn't initially want to do plants, although plants were always interesting to her. She was more interested in like Arctic ecology, which is like what she started off doing. Makes sense. She was from Michigan, where it's the Upper Peninsula in Michigan, like really cold.
The Yooper.
Yeah, she's a Yooper, which my stepdad's family, they're Yoopers too. It's kind of funny.
Really? I've only been to, it was like Indian Creek Mountain to ski up there, and it's seriously so beautiful.
I've always been really intrigued by that area, and I would consider living there, but I don't know about the 6-month winter.
Yeah. Is the Upper Peninsula considered like Mackinac City, Traverse City, or is that lower?
I actually don't know.
No, the Upper Peninsula is like detached from the rest of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like Canada. Like you're flirting with Canada border.
Okay, I think that is, though. I think like St. Ignatius is on the border of Canada. But anyway, okay.
Wow. Well, that's where she's from. So she went to University of Michigan for her undergrad, and then she got her master's and PhD from Duke University. And she attended Duke for their Arctic ecology program, but the, what is it called? The Organization for Tropical Studies was also based in Duke. And she was, people were like, hey, give it a try, see what you think. Because she always had this interest in plants. And then she visited the tropics and decided that that's what she wanted to do. Didn't want to deal with winter anymore.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like all history from there. Like her life just totally changed. But what I found really interesting was that her mother has a degree in natural history, and her father was a wildlife biologist.
Oh.
And she comes from a science family, a STEM family.
Yeah.
Her parents were big bird watchers, and they spent a lot of time outside. So it all makes sense, honestly. Like the love of plants and nature was cultivated from such a young age. And I just think that's really sweet. She didn't exactly start out her career thinking that she would become this insanely successful and like prolific botanist, which I think is a really beautiful thing as well. I mean,
yeah,
it's cool that it just kind of happened to her. Like I don't know, her love of plants and nature just made this happen. But she says, this is a quote from her: "It was actually very exciting, very satisfying, and very surprising because I simply never thought about it." And this was her recounting her reaction to the news that she was added to the list of botanists known for naming species, like being one of the people who had named so many. And basically what I've gathered is that she was just working and just doing her thing, and then didn't even realize that she was naming so many and making history, essentially.
Which is the coolest thing, to become successful and to make it big like that, and to not even realize that that's what you're aiming for. You're just extremely loving what you're doing, and to do it. That's the goal in life to me.
Yeah, I agree. So she spent more than 40 years in botany and taxonomy and naming plants. That's a big part of what she does. So she's getting samples from South America. She mainly looks at species from the Rubiaceae family, which is a lot of coffee plants and quinine plants, which I'm not familiar with quinine plants like really at all, but it's a medicinal plant. So lots of different plants in that. And like her website has a bunch of information about her research if you guys are at all interested in hearing more about what she does. But yeah, she also talked a little bit about, like in a video that I watched, she talked a lot about like her process for naming the plants. And basically she said that you have to understand what the plant does, who the plant is, and all of that kind of stuff. Like you just have to like get to know the plant and then you can name it. And of course you name plants like sometimes after the person who found it, of course, and then kind of some physical attributes of the plant as well you want to instill so that I guess it's just easier to remember.
Cool. There's a really sweet photo of her on Google with that plant, with that quinine tree. She looks very focused.
Yeah, I know. She's so cool. It's so cool to see them like there's a lot of pictures of her out there. So it's cool to see her out in like the tropics with all of these plants, like looking at them and finding them. Such a cool life. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just awesome. She told a story in one of like an interview that I read of hers that one time she was taking a sample and like a hummingbird like started attacking her because she was like taking part of the plant that I don't know if it was part of its territory or something, but
oh my gosh,
it's just, yeah, it's wild to think that like these little plant clippings are like dried and preserved and saved, which made me think, how in the heck do they preserve all of these? Because I've preserved leaves before, but they like oftentimes get moldy. I don't know. They must have, but like they just arrive in newspaper.
Yeah,
so, they look like shit. I mean, if you look at some of the herbarium sheets, they just look bad.
Yeah, they do. They really do.
They like have mold spores on them and stuff.
Yeah.
There's even a photo of her in a room. It looks like she has some preserved leaves in like a folder, and there's multiple folders everywhere, and it just looks like it's just old file cabinets just like thrown on the shelf.
Yes. It's just like this room with a bunch of different papers.
It's
yeah, but at the Missouri Botanical Garden they have the climatron, and then like with botanical gardens I forget that it's not all just display. Like there's actually research happening. Like these people, like she's literally a botanist who's like working as a botanist.
Yeah.
And she's looking at real samples of plants and all of these things. Behind the doors of the botanical garden is just this whole world of even more plants, like hundreds of thousands of plants that we will never see, but that are being used to like discover. It's just so cool.
Yeah.
It is just very cool. This Rubiaceae family that she focuses on is mostly in Latin America. Mm-hmm. And it sounded, based off of the interviews and like videos and whatever that I watched, that she has like connections to botanists there. And I don't know if they're through the Missouri Botanical Gardens, like if they work for Mobot, but they find things and they send it to her, and she like looks at them under a microscope and like describes them and gets to name them. And she's just very low key about getting to name all of these things. She's like, yeah, that's just what we do. Like, that's just what we do at the Missouri Botanical Gardens. Like,
yeah.
I oftentimes forget like how legendary Mobot is. Like, it's one of the best in the world.
It's truly a gorgeous place.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
And it's known for its like research in plants. It's just, yeah.
Does she still work there, did you say?
Yeah, she currently works there.
Wow.
Yeah. So
it's wild when you're so like in such a niche, like a certain family of plants, because you're right, like I guess you're so used to like the flower structures and how all of that works that you can come across a plant in the wild and be like, oh, I know exactly what type of plant that is, you know?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and can you imagine still finding new species?
Yeah, because I mean, it's gonna be a constant thing, right? Because they'll cross-pollinate in the wild, I'm certain. Something new will pop up, and then they need to like figure out what that is and name it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Weird. It's just wild to think about all of that.
I know. And for some reason, I can't wrap my head around the actual physical process of it. Like, okay, you go to Colombia and you're in the forest, the jungle, and it's like, you see a plant and you're like, I've never seen that before. And like, so do you just like pick it and like take, like, what is the actual process, you know? And like, how do you know what's been identified and what hasn't been identified? But that's why we have botanists, because they know, you know?
Yeah. I think that is exactly how it goes though. Like they find something and then they take a cutting and then they send it. That's
wild.
Just, it is wild. And like, I wonder like legally, like what is, because all these things are occurring in South America, like, it does make me wonder, like, why are botanists in the U.S. doing this? Aren't there botanists in South America that would want to do it? Like, it's interesting that we're naming plants that don't live here.
And aren't native here, yeah.
Yeah.
And aren't native here, yeah. So, like, but actually something that came up was when one of the samples was sent, they told Dr. Taylor, what the, like, indigenous people used the plant for. Like one of them, for example, was like a sweetener that they put in like their drinks or something like that. So she used that to inform the name that she gave it. So I feel like those context clues are given. Like they're probably working with the indigenous people, but I just would be really interested in hearing more about how that goes and like upon what authority do we have to name these? Like, are they okay with us doing that? I don't know. I haven't looked into that at all because I actually never thought about it.
Yeah, that is a good question.
It is interesting when you go to different countries, especially like smaller like island countries that I've been to on the cruises and stuff, and how they talk about their herbs and their plant life, their fauna, flora, and like the different medicinal purposes they use them for.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, do we do that? Or have we just completely given up that whole thought process and we just go to these big pharma? All right,
Big
put
pharma.
your tinfoil hats on. Okay. But
we
like,
do though.
The guy was like, this really helps with muscle aches. It was like a tree brush. And he was like telling me about all of these things when we were in St. Kitts. And I thought it was so cool. And I was like, but like nowhere in American culture, if you can even say we have culture, do we like be like, oh yeah, well, like my stomach hurts. Let's go make a tea from this plant.
Right.
Yep.
No.
Yep. That is so interesting. I noticed that in the Bahamas too. We went to like a Bahamian like history museum and they just had a bunch and she was saying all of the things that these plants did.
Wow.
And yeah, it is true that we don't do that at all. Okay. In Outlander, they do it.
They do it in Outlander.
They do it in Outlander. See, and that's like their Hoya. I think in Chinese culture, there's certain Hoya that have different medicinal purposes for like rheumatoid arthritis and that kind of stuff. And like, you know.
Yep. Aruba too. The aloe plant's huge out there, which I mean, aloe's popular everywhere, but out there it's like in everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It is interesting.
Anyway, when you guys were talking about like how do people know that have never seen it before, I did think not to hijack this, but
please,
on the other podcast that I do, Let's Talk Hoya, we did an episode about Hoya latifolia and Hoya macrophylla. And so I think we all have experienced receiving this plant that we call Hoya macrophylla. It's like the pot of gold or whatever.
You were the one that told me about this.
Yeah. And it was, and I might have said this in the podcast before, so I do apologize. You can just fast forward. But basically, it was a screw up, a 200-year-old screw up that still persists to this day. And so it's just like, but it makes sense because not like it's 200 years ago. They're not Googling like, oh, has this already been taken? Like, how would you have figured it out?
Yeah.
It was just, it's insane. And macrophylla basically means
interesting.
Big leaves. So they named it based off how it appeared.
Yeah.
Because that's another thing that most people do when they name plants. It's like, okay, well, it gives this appearance, so I'm gonna.
What does it look like? Yeah.
Yeah. Wild.
So for small leaf, they don't say microphylla.
There are some microphyllas.
Oh.
And some microfloras. So if the flowers are really tiny, they'll call them microflora, microstem. Yeah.
That is cool. Yeah. Dr. Taylor was saying that there's like a formula for how they name plants, like with basically probably just what you're saying right now. Like there's certain things that denote specific attributes that they use over and over again.
Yeah.
It's just like a whole dictionary. It's like a whole vocabulary that you have to have. It's just cool. I mean, obviously she has a PhD, so she's got it.
She's got it.
She got it.
She has got it. But I wanted to read this quote. It's a little long, but I thought it was so cool. It's an interview that she did with Carlos Ordonez Para, and we'll link it down below because the whole interview was really cool, and it's a written interview, so you can just read it. I've never ever thought about this before, so that's why I wanted to read this. But
yeah,
he asked her, what do people usually get wrong about plants? She said, people don't realize that plants are independent living organisms with their own super different lifestyle, and world. People speculate frequently on what alien life and on other planets might be like, but green plants on Earth are already more alien than any of the space aliens people talk about. They have to survive in just one spot. They make food from air and water and light and dirt. They run their lower parts deep into the soil and mix their tissues with the fungi. They are interconnected with each other physically. They grow in pieces that can break off. They hand over their sperm to the wind or to an insect or a bird to deliver to their girlfriends. They make babies that are just tiny little things with a few cells, and their babies can sit for weeks or months or a decade basically dead, then quickly revive and grow into even a tree, which can support itself as a simple round pole as much as 100 meters tall. Who needs to go to space to find aliens to see a completely different form of life?
That is so
when you have plants.
True.
Wow. That is, I'm really glad you shared that, because that is something I never think about either.
I know. Like, they are totally alien, just the way that everything that they do, the way that it all works. It's just
shooting their sperm everywhere. I don't know if I feel how I feel about that little message.
They're just shooting their sperm to the wind and seeing what sticks.
Taking it to the girlfriends.
Okay, but I also have that thought whenever I see palm trees, because they're here, and when it starts to get windy and I see how much they're moving, I'm like, how is that still standing?
Yeah.
Because palm trees aren't thick. They're not inherently sturdy, but yet they are. I don't know.
Palm trees, anytime I look at a palm tree, well, I'm not reminded by this, but like I think about it occasionally. Have you ever seen the movie The Impossible, about the tsunami that happened in Thailand, like at Christmas time years ago? People hung on to palm trees because they were like the only things left standing. And the force of water is unlike any other thing. So I'm like, how? You know? It's crazy. And hurricanes. I mean, palm trees withstand hurricane force winds all the time.
It's crazy. And the thing that is like so freaky is, well, obviously the reason that they're able to stay there is because there are root systems. But like thinking about what she said with like the roots intertwining and like interacting with fungi and so many things, like the soil is a living organism as well. Like soil is an alien. Like it's just, it's all kind of creepy.
Yeah, everything's alive.
Everything's alive. It's like the ocean. It kind of freaks me out if I think about it too long.
Yeah. We've got like an ocean under our feet with like all of the...
Yep.
Yeah. Sometimes random mushrooms will just like pop up in my yard and I'm like, what? Because like all of them are connected like through this like network underground. It's just so weird.
It is very strange.
So wild. Yeah. What a woman. What a woman.
I know. So Dr. Charlotte Taylor is an icon. She's a living legend. And if you have time or you care, she has like a cool website and like with more information about her research and lots of pictures of her online. I think like for some of I think when this article with Kew Gardens came out, they like took pictures of her or something, because there's a lot of really good shots of her in that room with all the files and plants and stuff.
Yeah. Fun. Good research, Becky. That was good.
Yes,
good episode.
No problem. It surely does not do Dr. Taylor justice, but we can try.
Now we know about her. And if you're ever at the Botanical Gardens in Missouri, you know, tell someone that you know a little bit about her because of our podcast. Thanks.
Yeah, my friend, Dr. Charlotte Taylor, is she's back there. Can I go back there real quick?
Can I say hi? I brought her lunch.
Say hi. Yeah.
But yeah, guys, we hope you enjoyed this episode, and you will stay tuned for our last installment of this mini series when Nicole talks about a very cool botanist that she found. And if you want to see some photos, we'll put some over on Instagram. You can follow us at Potted Together. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you guys next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
With everything you have on your plate, earning your degree online seems impossible. But at Grand Canyon University, we specialize in helping you fit a master's degree in education into your busy day. Your graduation team, led by your own GCU counselor, provides you with the personal support you need to succeed. Achieve your goals with a plan and team behind you. Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Visit gcu.edu.